My guest at this time was recently the victim of Wardlow's powerbomb symphony. He's extremely cute. It's Colin Delaney. Colin, welcome to the Wrestling Inc. Daily.
Thanks. I thought that intro was going to go a lot nicer. You were like, he was recently, and I was like ready for like featured on AEW Dynamite or like, I don't know, any number of things that wasn't got smashed. You went right for the kill.
Yeah, well, I'm not going to beat around the bush here, Colin. I mean, there's only a few people in this world that have ridden the bucking bronco that is the Wardlow powerbomb symphony. You know, I was going to kind of maybe wait to get to it later, build up to it with some other questions. But, like, dude, what is that like to just get, your shit tossed by Wardlow like that with all the power bombs?
Well, it definitely hurts more now than when I was like 21 and getting smashed on TV every week. It definitely hurts a bit more when I'm 35.
Okay. All right. Yeah, because like when you were 21, you were getting beat up in ECW by some really big boys, right? That really did not, if I recall, like do you many favors when it came to the way they were really kind of pummeling you out there.
Right. So I guess it was a little bit of a throwback, but I am no longer a young man where that I recoil as quickly. I'm not kidding. I still like I've been taping my shoulder for the last couple weeks, and my back is still sore from all that. It could have been the chair shot though too. I haven't been hit with a chair in a good minute.
Okay, well, it is interesting as I was doing my research, preparing for the interview here. Yeah, your AEW journey actually started like you were friends with Sean Spears, right? You guys you tagged together on AEW Dark like over a year ago or something, correct? Is that right?
Yeah, just pre-pandemic in Cleveland, Ohio for AEW Dark, me and Sean Spears took on the Best Friends, and he left me high and dry. And then fast forward to Dynamite in Jacksonville, and as I'm leaving the ring, he hits me with a chair. I don't even know what his problem is with me. Seriously, I've known that dude forever. He's an Ontario guy. I'm from Rochester, so we kind of came up in similar circles. I've known him since I was like 18.
Really?
I don't know.
I didn't know you guys went back that far.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, I mean, it seems like if you came back, obviously, another shot at Wardlow would maybe be in order, but it sounds like your beef is more at this point with Spears than Wardlow if you were to, get your next bout at AEW.
Yeah, sure. I mean, I don't think anyone wants a second go around with Wardlow. I think Wardlow is he's crazy talented though. It's no wonder why he is there and why they use him as such. Like he looks great. He's super talented. He's super athletic. He's like, for a guy his size, he can jump out of the gym. It's crazy. The crazy part about Wardlow to me is that there's still so much untapped potential, which is insane to think about when you look at him and see all he's already done.
Yeah, what do you think of the Powerbomb Symphony? Are you a fan? Do you think that this is something that's going to work? And you can't wait to see other folks like yourself going through the washing machine week after week?
I don't think anybody is a fan of the Powerbomb Symphony. Well, I'll take that back. I don't think anybody, from a professional wrestling standpoint, any professional wrestler is a fan of getting powerbombed over and over and over again. I don't think there's many people who really like getting powerbombed as far as wrestlers go. So yeah, taking more than one in a row, nah.
What is the reaction backstage when you come back at? Because that is not something that is easy to do, and I'm sure that there are a lot of people that watch that and maybe felt like you had really done a great job or really put it all out there. Like, what was the reaction to that?
So there's a lot of WWE ECW alumni at AEW currently. So it's nice to get sometimes just a little head nod, like recognize real.
Who are some of the head nods? Who are some of your alumnus there? I didn't even think about that recently.
Oh, there's so many of them. I mean, Punk, of course, is there now.
Sure.
Matt Hardy was a former champ.
True.
Mark Henry was a former champ there. Lance Archer, former WWE ECW guy. Trent, former WWE ECW guy. Referee Mike Posey, former WWE ECW guy. There's a lot.
Wow. Do you get a chance to catch up with Punk? Did you talk to Punk at all or no?
A little bit. Yeah, we chatted a little bit. Nothing too crazy. I remember when I first saw him for the first time in probably a decade was when AEW was in Rochester. And when I came up, I went to say hi to him, and he like stopped me because in the moment he was meeting Brody's kids for the first time.
Oh, wow.
And it was very, he hadn't, met him before, and he was tight with Brody. So it was like, I almost interrupted a moment.
Oh, well, I'm glad you didn't. That'd be a real dick thing to do, Colin. I'm really glad to hear you didn't do that. That's awesome. So with you, like with AEW, man, so you like you said, you were just there pre-pandemic. Very different vibe, right? Because like now when you were doing that AEW Dark, I think that was like number 14 or something. It was like very early in the run of AEW Darks. Now they're over here in the Universal Studios where you're doing a very different setup. How did the two kind of appearances compare with so much time in between them for you?
It's definitely different now. The Cleveland one, yeah, like you said, it was super early in the process, so there was still a degree of figuring it out. I think they just had Dark back then. There wasn't even Dark Elevation.
Right.
There wasn't as many people around as far as like extras go, like extras in the locker room. I think there was like 5 or 6 back then, but now because of Dark and Dark Elevation, there's so many extras there because they give so many, different independent guys opportunities on these shows. So it's different in a lot of ways, though. Definitely, when I first did it in Cleveland, it was just a drive over to Cleveland in the big arena. But then flying down to like the Dynamite I did was in Jacksonville, which I got brought in. I got called literally that morning and asked if I could be in Jacksonville that night.
Really?
So, yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow, that's crazy. So wait, how did you get picked for this? Like, how did that come about so last second?
But because I'm professional at getting beat up real well, I guess.
Okay, got it. Right. So somebody just said we've got Delaney on tap. Let's just call him up and bring him here to make Wardlow look good.
I think so. Yeah. I mean, essentially, I got a call at 7 a.m. asking if I could be in Jacksonville that night. So,
wow.
Hopped on an airplane and I literally got to Daly's place an hour before I was in the ring. I got there. Someone met me at the gate. They rushed me into the locker room. I changed, and it was by that time Dynamite had already started. By the time I changed and came out, yeah.
Wow. And I guess it's like not like it's just like, all right, well, he's just gonna powerbomb you a whole bunch. Just kind of roll with it, right? I guess I don't know.
Not a lot to figure out, I guess. Yeah, it was. I don't know. I got on an airplane that morning. All I knew was that AEW had asked for me to come down to Jacksonville, and I was doing it. I had no idea what I was doing until I walked in the building.
Well, it gotta feel good though, man, to like pop up on AEW TV and like, social media gets all the buzz when they see you and stuff, dude. I mean, like you certainly left an impression on a lot of people.
Yeah, it's still, it's still cool to. Last time I was on, when I wrestled Eddie Kingston on Dark, I think Taz and Excalibur had said that I took like 3 years off of wrestling, which is not true, but I guess that's what happens when you're off the TV radar for a couple years.
Yeah, how was that getting to work with Kingston, man? He's one of those guys that's kind of just grabbed that brass ring in AEW and just ran with it. I feel like you two would have a lot of fun working together in Dark.
Yeah, and that was the first time we'd ever wrestled. We'd been around each other in Shikara and in AEW.
I thought for sure you guys had hooked up before this. Wild.
Never.
Okay.
Not even in a tag match or a scramble or nothing. We never had. So that was exciting. But anybody who's ever known, everyone who's known Kingston throughout the years knew that this was inevitable. Eventually, when he got his chance, when he got in front of the right audience, that he would take off because he's just got that natural something about him. There's something about him that you just can't deny. And that goes beyond his skill in the ring, which is incredible.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, dude. A lot of people really enjoy watching Eddie. The stuff he did with Punk, man. Like, I love the realism that's being brought back to pro wrestling with AEW right now.
Yeah, and Eddie is one of the realists. He's kind of, I don't want to say leading the charge, because with AEW, I think some of the criticism they get is actually the opposite sometimes with some of the things. But Eddie is like, you can't deny what he brings to the table, and you can't deny when you see him that that's real.
Yeah. Man, dude. And like, it's just got, how is it for you being in this space? Because like, you know, it is cool to just be a part of AEW, but you saw so much success like earlier in your career too. It is 21, I think is what you said earlier, right? What I read, like 21 years old in ECW, getting national TV time, like real exposure. I've been around you on the indies, man. I know that people like look at you as like a veteran. Like, how different is it for you kind of being in this space now with AEW, like compared to the early success you had with WWE?
Well, my early success, I was like you said, I was 21. I didn't really know what I was doing. I was just happy to be there, and just I was wrestling, and that's all I ever wanted to do, and that was cool. But now, yeah, I've been wrestling 18, going on 19 years now.
Yeah.
So it's cool that I still am recognized for that, but also have been able to stick around this long and still have something to give and something to offer.
Yeah, for sure. Have you stayed in touch with WWE? Any talks of you ever coming back and doing anything fun with them or no?
So the last WWE stuff I did was a couple of years ago. It really wasn't that long ago. 2018, I want to say. I wrestled the Bludgeon Brothers in the one match, and then came back the next week and wrestled Kenta in his 205 Live debut. And I did a little backstage thing with Ellsworth. And there was a little bit of talk of maybe bringing me back, but it just never materialized into anything. And after that, it was like, from there, 205 Live was where I thought I might have an opportunity and a chance.
Sure. Yeah.
And then it kind of seemed like that was fading off into its own kind of thing with NXT, and the show wasn't a focal point anymore that they would be necessarily hiring guys strictly for that. So I don't know. And then now when you look at what's going on, it's like, I don't think there's opportunities for guys like me there at all anymore. But that being said, things over there historically, and I don't think I'm telling anybody anything they don't already know, change by the day.
Right.
So their current thing, is that they're not hiring. They're basically hiring young athletes who they can mold into their own product, which is such a bummer because forever that's been like the wrestling way. Guys from the beginning of time, that's how they did it. They trained and they wrestled locally, and then they branched out a little bit further, and then they got noticed, and then eventually they scratched and clawed and got noticed by WWE, and climbed the ladder. WWE has kind of just eliminated the ladder. Like you that's not how you get to WWE anymore. So which is so crazy to me, because you think of the guys who did that. You think of guys like, classically like Shawn Michaels, like Bret Hart, like Edge, like these guys who just worked hard and toiled and got into developmental and got noticed, or whatever it was. It's just crazy to me that all that seems to be gone.
How does that affect the indies, do you think? I mean, is it already something for you where you feel people are more already aiming for AEW and less for WWE now? Like, how does it affect the vibe of the scene, kind of saying out loud what you just did there,
I think the scene is a little bit more of its own thing nowadays. So back when I started, what you wanted to be a wrestler because you wanted to get to WWE, essentially. Like, that was the ultimate goal of being a wrestler. But I just think the goal has changed. Like, AEW is a viable option, or Impact, or, I mean, Ring of Honor's gone now, but there'll be something. There's always something for wrestlers. And like I said before, things over at WWE change like the wind, seemingly. Yeah. I remember one time we did a meeting where no one was allowed to chop but Shawn Michaels. And then, like, a month later, like, I was out the door and everyone chopped. So it's just like, sometimes it goes like that, and they just get their real set on this one thing, but that's not forever. Nothing is forever.
Right. Yeah, for sure. Well, and it's interesting right now that AEW has kind of stepped up, is like, at least in my opinion, like, talking to people, a lot more people I feel like are focusing there. I mean, it's a real weird gamble for me, doing what you said, which is taking these blue chip athletes and trying to make them wrestlers right now. I just don't know what that product looks on the other side, because I don't really know that we've ever seen. I mean, I guess you could go back to like early 90s, late 80s WWE, where Vince was trying to just push bodybuilders, but like that era failed miserably. You know what I mean?
Right, that's what I was saying. Like, you would think when you look at like the most successful wrestlers in history, in WWE history, they've all got these paths and these backstories where they came up kind of the way that they've eliminated, and they are seemingly turning to a way that has proven not the most successful over the course of time. But I don't know. Who knows? It's their company, man.
So what's your pulse like with over at AEW? Did you ever get a chance to talk to Tony Khan about the work that you've done for the company so far?
I've actually talked to Tony Khan a bunch. Yeah, he's one of the more approachable people you'll ever meet in your life, and he's just a really big wrestling fan, and it's cool. Like, I remember after the first time I did AEW, that one in Cleveland we were talking about, I went back to the hotel with everybody, and Tony was there and was just talking like old WCW Saturday nights with Jericho. And when I first met Tony, I was introduced to him, and he was very excited to meet me and was a big fan of my stuff on ECW and like knew all about me. And that's cool. He generally is a wrestling fan.
Yeah, that's awesome, man. And like, yeah, he's notoriously a big ECW fan. Like, the fact that he was following it through, I guess, your association with ECW in any fashion would definitely get his attention, obviously. Yeah.
Yeah, that's probably why I wound up in Jacksonville. He probably thought I need someone to get beat up, and who better than one of the best to ever do it, right?
Yes, one of the best to ever do it at ECW.
So can that be like my thing? Like, something they're like, I'm the best to ever do it. I'm the best to ever get beat up.
Man, it's gonna be you and Barry Horowitz, just like in a
nice
tuxedo match 2022. That's I see it happen at WrestleMania weekend.
I'm into that. All right.
Yeah, I mean, look, Horowitz would do it. I mean, that man is very passionate. I'll put it that way, and he's got something to prove, it would seem to me. So anyway, Colin, what are you doing now, man? Like, what's your life outside AEW, WWE stuff? What are you passionate about right now? What do you think people should know that you're doing at the moment?
Well, I'm still wrestling. I'm still active. Pandemic's kind of slowed everybody because shows aren't as readily available as they once were. There's not as much wrestling out there, but it slowly comes back all the time. So still active wrestling. I run a toy store here in Rochester, New York called Heroes Hideout. So I sell toys and collectibles all the time. And that's fun for me. I like doing that. So that's about it. There's
Has Cardona and Brian Myers come to your store and ransacked it for all the pro wrestling stuff yet?
No. Ethan Page did come film a vlog here recently, though, when they were in town for AEW. I don't know what I have for Cardona, and no, that's a lie. There's tons of wrestling figures here. They would, but Smart Mark Sterling came with Ethan Page, so he probably just gave him the rundown. He probably FaceTimed in or something, or took a bunch of pictures.
Did the reconnaissance. Do you have a personal favorite wrestling item in your store right now?
There's a random Vladimir Kozlov autographed figure, which entertains probably only me.
Okay. Is it on the wall at the cash register, that kind of deal?
It is above the cash register. We have a handful of random autographed figures that came in, and one of them was a Vladimir Kozlov autograph, and that one gets me.
Okay, well, good. Well, who doesn't love Vladimir Kozlov? Underrated, really, truthfully, very underrated.
Terrifying individual.
Yeah,
very, very nice. I wrestled him on SmackDown once.
Oh.
I think it was SmackDown. Yeah, that dude is legit.
Yeah.
I think I'd rather be powerbombed by Wardlow 4 more times than another go around with Vladimir Kozlov.
Okay, good to know. I didn't know. Okay, well, I mean, he made a brief reappearance over in New Japan, just before the pandemic. He was doing commentary and stuff for them, wasn't he?
I don't know, but that rules. I remember seeing a picture of him where he kind of looks like a Grand Theft Auto villain. He sells wine or something, some kind of alcohol, and that was enough for me. But him doing anything in New Japan sounds awesome too.
Yeah, no, it was really cool. It was a really cool combo. Yeah, he has the vibe of you might sell me guns. and
Yeah.
like maybe a grenade. And I'm not judging it, right? It's like a very specific vibe that he gives off.
That's what I'm saying. Like, yeah, Grand Theft Auto bad guy is probably not the best description, but yeah, like he would sell you guns.
Yeah, selling it for sure. Or be waving one around somewhere just for like, hey, whoa, Kozlov, put that thing away.
Right.
Colin, where can people go find you online if they want to go support you, man?
Well, it looks like my Twitter thing is right there somewhere. Extremely cute. I got on that Twitter game real early, so that thing was still around. Do you know I'm the first tweet in WWE history?
From their account or from a verified WWE superstar account?
From the very first tweet from the WWE verified Twitter account is something about like Mark Henry beating me.
Wow, that's crazy. That. Wow, what a bar trivia fact that is.
Yeah, my wrestling career is just going to be like random trivia facts. I'm a good trivia answer on a bunch of different things. But yeah, at extremely cute is my Twitter handle. I'm on Instagram at extremely Colin. Yeah, I mean, follow along there. Other than that, I'm here. I don't have anything to plug. I don't know. Here I am.
Yeah, but for the people that are just hearing the audio of this, like he was touching his head.
Oh yeah. I don't know. I don't know what else you want me to say. That I don't have anything to plug, guys. I'm sorry.